All right, I'd like to call to order the Board of Education meeting for December 9th, 2025. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Roll call.
Joseph Santoro.
Christine Rylander.
Frank Oliveri.
Shane Centrella.
Kurt Werner.
Julie Luby.
Nora Mukurski.
Eleanor Bishop.
Carol Kiak.
Jonathan Moorhart.
All right, before we move on to item 2, approval of the agenda, I just want to read to you the board's vision statement, the mission statement, and our operating principles and shared values. At Winchester Public Schools, students are provided with a nurturing and caring community that enlightens, inspires, and empowers our students to explore their creativity, talents, and desires so all students can realize and achieve their dreams. The mission statement of our board, the mission of the Winchester Public School is to provide all students with high-quality curriculum and instruction that supports their academic and social potential while celebrating the values of kindness, perseverance, and citizenship. Our operating principles: we will prioritize students first, we will maintain respectful communication, we will operate with accountability, we will foster collaboration and teamwork, we will respect boundaries and roles, we will stay informed and engaged, we will engage the community, we will focus on continuous improvement. The shared values of the board's integrity and ethics, commitment to excellence and support for all learners, openness, fairness, transparency, respect, curiosity, and critical thinking. The reason I read this is we have a new board, and I think it helps shape how this year is going to move forward, and have this in front of us and keep this in mind as we progress through our business as a board. All right. On to item 2, approval of the agenda. Does anyone want to add or move around any items on the agenda?
The American Rail Pageant, with regrets and apologies, can't be here tonight.
Okay.
So if you want to just strike that, I'll get them back on for next month.
Okay.
That was passed under information items.
Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone else? Like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
You like to make a motion?
I will.
Okay, you in second?
Second.
Okay, all approve? All right, unanimous? All right, on to item 3, student showcase.
Ms. St. Hilaire has a treat for us. She'll tell us all about it. We have some 5th graders, I believe, from Ms. McLaughlin's class, right?
All 5th grades.
Oh, from all of the 5th grade classrooms. Wonderful. I got them planning in the hallway outside Denise's door. All right, good evening, Board of Education members and families. We are so excited to be here today. I've brought with me some 5th grade students who are going to share a little bit about what they've been learning in their language arts classrooms.
So in CKLA, we are learning about early ancient civilizations, including the Maya, Aztec, and Inca. And I will start off by saying that the Aztec had schools and they really valued them just like us.
I love that. Can you introduce yourself too, sweetheart, and everyone else?
My name is Alexa.
Alexa? Thank you, Alexa.
Hi, my name is Leah, and I'm going to be talking about the Maya, Aztec, and the Inca, and about their agriculture and a cultural game that they play. So first, The Maya use a technique called slashing and burning. Slashing and burning is where they would cut down all the trees and plants, and then they would burn everything so they have nice, rich soil to plant crops. And the Aztec used chinampas. Chinampas were raised earth platforms in water. And the Inca used a technique called terrace farming. Terrace farming is where they would cut into mountains and to plant crops. And they also played a cultural game called Pakatok. Pakatok is a game where they would have to use their elbows, arms, knees, and legs to get a heavy rubber ball through a small stone ring high on the arena walls. And whoever lost had to get sacrificed to the gods. In conclusion, these civilizations use a variety of techniques to ensure their people had enough food to eat.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kaya. Today I'm going to be talking about Mayan social classes and also Mayan gods. I'm going to start by talking about Mayan gods. Mayan people like to blame everything on the gods. Say if there's an earthquake or an volcano eruption, they would blame that on the gods. If there was somebody to pass or something, they would also blame that on the gods. They would pray to the gods every day and ask for food and warmth. Now I'm going to move on to social classes. Mayan social classes kind of was like a pyramid. At the top of the pyramid, they would have a hierarchy, and at the bottom, they would have a farmland. The farmland would live all the way out, away from the city, and the next up would be the traders. The traders would live close to the city, but not right next to it, and then it would go to the hierarchies. They would live in the middle of the city, and they ruled everybody. Now I'm going to pass on to Lily.
My name is Lily, and I'm going to be talking about architecture and another game that's close to Pakatuk is what Leah said. This game was played by the Inca, and it was played at the Great Temple Mayor that all the cities connected. All the cities had one, and the game was very similar. Just place a rubber solid ball through a stone hoop that hung wide. And now I'm gonna move on to architecture, and they made everything by hand: the pyramids, the temples, the homes. And they used the clay that they found at the bottom of the lakes and rivers, about the chinampas, and they used it to make pyramids, temples, and everything. As you can see, we learned a lot about the ancient American civilizations.
And we would like to thank our amazing teachers that taught us these facts.
And now we're going to be passing these around.
Lily, in your game, if you lost, did you die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, same thing. Okay, good. All right, good.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
Did you know all of that before, or did you learn all of that just now this year? That's pretty amazing. That's a lot of information. And I noticed that you all just shared all that from in your heads. You weren't reading. That's lovely. Very impressive.
That's good. It's really hard to do.
What's the most interesting thing you learned in this unit?
I think it was the game. Sacrifice at the end.
Have you seen this?
I knew you'd like that aspect.
Before the government was unstable.
How long have you guys been working on the unit?
For about 2 weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks? Whoa. You've lost your mind.
All right, what is it?
Did you start before Thanksgiving?
Wild to think about.
Yes,
We're so
yes. I think
excellent
we,
engineers.
okay. It ended already. It ended
It
like
ended.
a week ago.
This is
Okay.
Machu Picchu.
We worked on it for like a month. No, like,
Yeah, this is these ended up being different tropical zones, so they can hybridate
We had like 3
in
sessions.
different parts of the region.
What? Yeah.
They're intelligent. All engineers.
Alexa finished.
Is there a name for these?
the codex.
Yeah.
Codex, what does that mean?
It's just like the word that they used because they used to make like things like these.
It was like a 3-page.
Like a scroll almost, and they would put like information if they had a written message, and they called it the codex.
So that's what these are modeled after?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sometimes players were sacrificed, not all.
Not all the time. No, well, not when they won.
You left that part out.
This goes this way.
Yeah.
So maybe that's where the Hunger Games comes from.
No, that goes that way. Or no, you're right.
Good.
Maybe.
Are we
I
sending
don't
them
know.
both right?
Possibly.
As long as you're getting a good
No, I
sampling.
think this. No, there's some that look similar. I think this
okay,
is.
okay, all right. Correct, oh, yes, you're right.
Anyone have any other questions for the students?
What are you working on now?
Finished up poetry.
Yeah.
Poetry
Poetry
unit.
unit, yeah. Definitely a favorite unit. Yeah.
We ought to present that to us next time.
When are we doing a field trip?
Yeah, I was just about to say, do you have any inspiration to now
Field trip?
travel to these places that you've learned about? To see the ancient civilizations? No?
No?
What, are you scared of it?
They don't play that game anymore.
Yeah.
You sure?
Well, they might, but. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Great job.
All right, on to item 4, public comment. The Winchester Board of Education welcomes you to its business meeting. There are 2 opportunities set aside to hear comments from the public. We welcome and encourage public participation as a valued part of communicating input with the Winchester Board of Education. We appreciate your adherence to the following. Complete the requested information on the sign-in sheet. If you wish to speak, your name, address, and email. State your name and address when called upon to speak. You will be allotted 3 minutes to share your comments. Please be advised that it is not the practice of the Board of Education to engage in dialogue regarding commentary. The superintendent of schools will be directed by the chairperson to prepare an appropriate response in a timely manner. We appreciate your time and thoughtful commentary. Does anyone wish to speak? Does anyone wish to speak? Does anyone wish to speak? All right, not seeing anyone, we will move on to item 5, approval of the minutes. Item A, minutes of special board meeting on November 11th, 2025. Would like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
My name's spelled wrong.
Your name is spelled wrong.
They added an extra letter there.
All right, so,
That's okay.
Make a motion to approve with the edit?
motion to approve with the edit. Nora for, motion to approve, Eleanor second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So there should be no C.
There should be no C.
All right.
Yeah, the next
All
one's
of
fine.
the others.
Yeah.
All right.
It's first try. It was okay.
Live and learn.
Item B, minutes of Board of Ed meeting November 11th, 2025. Make a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
One edit,
Oop, one edit.
page 6. My name's spelled wrong.
All right, page 6.
Under committee reports, fine.
Yep. Under committee reports, edit Nora's name, last name. All right, motion to approve with the edit.
Make a motion?
Nora, Shane, all in favor? All right, let's see how we did on item C, minutes of special board meeting, November 13th, 2025. Make a motion to approve.
Make a motion.
Make a motion to
Yeah,
approve.
there you go. Second.
Carol first, Shane second. No edits? You have an edit?
No.
Oh, all in favor? All right,
I abstain.
and one abstention. Gotcha. Nora abstains.
Just one point of order on page 10. There's no adjournment time or motion for adjourn.
Okay.
I know we just approved it, but does anybody have that?
It was late. You remember
We
what time
can
it was?
find it in our notes.
I don't remember what time it was.
Do you want to revote that minutes approved with the addition of an adjournment? We'll figure out what that was. I'll find it.
All right, let's make a motion to approve the minutes with the addition of the adjournment time.
I make a motion to approve with the addition of the adjournment time.
All right. Carol, Jonathan, all in favor? One abstention. Nora abstention. All right. Moving on. Communications, item 6, chairperson's comments. As we're moving into budget season, I want the public to be aware that over the next couple months, Superintendent Luby will be formulating a budget to present to us. Throughout this process, we are going to have many, many meetings, and I ask that the public get involved, stay involved. This is going to be a very important budget because we are already learning that between Gilbert and the K through 6 system, our health insurance is going up $1.2 million from last year. So that's where we're starting. So we got a lot of work to do. So I want everyone to stay informed, be informed, come to meetings, watch meetings. It's important. I also want to point out that our district is doing a wonderful job staying in front of the public on the Facebook page, emails, all correspondence. The Facebook page is amazing. Keep it up. Keep doing what you're doing because that's the engagement we need. We need parents to be engaged throughout the whole year, not only budget season, but throughout the whole year, and I think that's a great way to do it. So thank you for that. All right, on to item B, student representative reports. I think we have Hinsdale first. And do we have the placards?
We do.
Perfect. I think we have Frankie here, right? Frankie.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hello, my name is Franco. I'm in 2nd grade. This month we have a lot of exciting things ahead. On December 12th, we will wear our pajamas to school and bring $1 to help kids in need at CCMC. This is part of a big fundraiser that happens all across the state. On December 19th, we are excited to go to the Gilbert School to watch a holiday concert on December 23rd. Each grade will have a special sing-along with our classmates and families. We can sing holiday songs together before we go on winter break. Each grade level is busy learning. In preschool, students are busy learning about families and traditions. They are also working hard on learning about shapes and what makes a shape. Kindergarteners are learning how to identify more sounds. They are using these sounds to read and write. They are also learning about farms and how they provide for us. Kindergarteners are also learning about combining numbers and taking away from numbers, also known as early addition and subtraction. In first grade, they are working on reading and answering questions going back into the text. They are learning the writing steps, plan, draft, and write. Also, they are using our strategies to add and subtract to become more fluid. In second grade, we are learning how to identify common and proper nouns. We are adding and subtracting two-digit numbers. We are looking forward to celebrate our learning about Greek myths by writing and doing a craft. One thing I'd like to see happen at Hinsdale School is more daily STEM. I think schools should have more STEM because it makes learning way more fun. Instead of just reading about things, we get to build stuff, experiment, and see how things really work. When we do hands-on activities, it feels like we are real scientists or engineers. It helps us understand better when we are able to touch it, try it, and see what happens. STEM also lets us work together and allows our brains to think out of the box. I think all schools should include STEM in their daily learning so kids can learn by doing, not sitting. Thank you all very much for our time and my sister for writing this and my family for
And you read very well. You read very well.
That
Second
was
grader. That was
phenomenal.
amazing.
And you're in second grade? You're in second grade? And
Should we
who's your
just send them
teacher?
straight to high school?
Miss Braun? Miss Braun? Oh, yeah. Lillian, Miss Braun. Awesome. And he's a very good baseball player as well, so you'll be seeing his name soon.
Very
Thank you.
impressive.
Awesome.
Thank you. That was a good job.
All right, now for our Pearson representative. And this is,
Hold on. You need to be so much louder and,
Yeah, move the
turn the
microphone
can we
closer.
turn the,
No,
yeah,
move it closer. Move the
Microphone
microphone
doesn't
closer.
that actually won't
Oh, is it-
amplify
Oh,
it,
no.
it just picks it up for the TV. You have to be super loud, Lily.
Hello, my name is Lily Werner and I'm in grade 4. For school activities and events, parent-teacher conferences, December 12th is District Pajama Day to raise money for Connecticut Children's Research. The whole school will be attending a holiday concert at Gilbert School on December 19th. For academic highlights, something that students have been learning about. In grade 3, in math, students have been rounding multi-digit numbers and estimating their sums and differences. Students also practice adding and subtracting 2- and 3-digit numbers using algorithm and other methods. In language arts, students have studied the human body and its skeletal, muscular, and nervous system. Students learn about bones, joints, muscles, nerves, the spinal cord, and the brain. They studied the senses of sight and hearing and how the eyes and ears allow these senses to function. They also learned about when vision and or hearing are impaired and how people cope with these challenges. In science, students are studying forces and motions. They will make observations and or measurements of an object's motion to provide evidence that a pattern can be Grade 4. In math, students continue to practice math facts and are now studying fractions. They made fraction strips to use as a tool to compare fractions. In language arts, students are studying the Middle Ages and writing historical fiction. Students can choose to write a story set in England or Iceland during the Middle Ages. In science, students are studying kinds of energy and are experimenting with the transfer of potential and kinetic energy as they roll spheres down ramps of different heights. Grade 5. In math, students are learning about metric conversations such as turning liters into milliliters and kilometers into meters. They will be writing their own division story problem and using ratio tables to solve these questions. In language arts, students have been reading and writing poetry and are moving into a unit of study on the Don Quixote. Throughout this unit, they will study elements of story and will end the unit by writing a personal narrative. Science. Students are learning about and creating food chains and food webs, learning about where plants get their matter and energy to grow. Grade 6. In math, students are exploring ratios. They learned about diagrams, double number lines, and ratio tables to show their work and find patterns in their equivalent ratios. In language arts, students are kicking off their chocolate collection unit by doing a text and image scavenger hunt to build background knowledge. They are looking forward to the field experiments at Fasher Chocolates to learn more about the history and science behind chocolate. In science, in their thermal energy unit, students learn about the transfer of energy. They collected light and temperature data outside to test where the air was warmer and colder. School improvements are needs. At recess, if you do not have snow clothes, there should be a room to go to so they can play too. One great thing about Pearson is the teachers are nice and caring. Thank you.
Thank you, Lily.
Do you want to come back and take your name with you? You did a great job, honey. Thank you. Thank you.
Who's your teacher?
Miss Matani.
Miss Matani.
A lot of research, it's great.
We have two equestrians in the room, both Lilies, Lily Gagnon and Lily Werner. All right, thank you. Parents, students, you are welcome to leave now. You can stay if you'd like, but you are welcome to leave. Yes.
I thought so.
Okay, on to item D, or item C, superintendent's report.
Okay. So as always, definitely it's sad to be following such a great act, but I'm going to just highlight a few things from my report that I think you'll find interesting. We are very excited that our drone club is up and running. The kids have been practicing under the direction of Ms. St. Hilaire and our innovation teacher, Mr. Healy. We are at the very beginning of competition season, much too early for us to participate in a competition because we've literally had the drones in hand maybe a week or two. But we did go, the Gilbert School hosted the first competition of the season for the state of Connecticut, probably 2 weekends ago now. And our students and Ms. St. Hilaire went as observers to get the lay of the land and to support the Gilbert School. So we're looking forward to hosting on Pi Day, March 14th, one of the state-approved competitions, and we're really excited to be back in that game. And we've got a nice collaboration going with Gilbert on that. I'll give you a roof update. So, let me tell you what we found and where we are. Pearson School roof, that picture I'll refer to in a little bit. You don't have to interpret it yet, but spoiler alert, the red is what's wet in the insulation. So in order to prepare for a potential roof project, recommendation to us was do some of the basic testing first so that before you go out to bid, you actually know what the scope of the project is, so that the bids come in matching your budget and are reasonable, and then you don't have surprises later. So we have done moisture scan and asbestos testing. Unfortunately, all the red in that report is wet insulation sitting up there, much more prevalent than they anticipated. And there was also asbestos up on the roof, which means that it's a bigger project than we had hoped. So based on the fact that it is wet, that there is asbestos, and that it has been leaking for years, it has been verified to be a 26-year-old roof, which, as it turns out, for a roof like ours, the standard would be 20 years. I was surprised. I said, wait, isn't the one on my house like 30 years? And the roofing people explained to me that it's different at home. You have shingles, it's a totally different product.
Right.
Your roof at home looks like this, ours is flat, it's made out of something I no longer remember what it's called. So very different. So the standard is 20 years, we're at 26, so we've gotten our money's worth out of our roof, but it's done. The cost of the project, they're estimating, would be roughly $2.8 to $2.9 million. This is not someone who's interested in bidding on the work. This is someone who's just taking us through this phase of the work. Because our eligibility this year for reimbursement is 70%, we'd be looking at roughly $800,000 to $900,000 to the town of that bill. I asked my new best friend, Chris, well, Chris, what happens if we just don't do it? I mean, there's a roof up there, and he said, well, you have issues. The longer you wait, first of all, the money will keep getting bigger. The price is not going to ever go down. He said, the insulation up there that's wet, it's like a sponge. It holds water, so much like if you leave a wet sponge sitting in your sink and then you pick it up later, you may find it starts to smell moldy, because at some point, if it isn't already growing mold, it will. And the other thing he explained to me is that we have a gypsum deck, which means that the wetness sitting on it could require far more repair. Like right now, we have a gypsum deck. If it gets wet for a long time, we no longer have a gypsum deck, and that also needs fixing, and it becomes prohibitively bigger. So at the January meeting, unless I get different information, I'm going to ask the board to make and hopefully approve a motion to bring this forward to the Board of Selectmen to ultimately bring to the town to a referendum, because I just don't see where we really have any choice.
The weight of the roof too, when you're talking about that kind of dampness and so forth. Plus that asbestos sitting up there isn't always a good idea when it leaks too. It leaks into a classroom, you don't know what's leaking into the classroom. That's a tough one. But we
Yeah.
kinda knew it would be 1 million just for one layer and 2 million for the whole new roof. But now when you're talking gypsum, when they take it off, they may find the gypsum is not holding up, and so there might need to
Might be
be, like
worse.
you open up the roof, the hood rather, you don't know exactly. Yep. Well, we were talking, putting up solar at one point. Good thing we did the test.
Yes. One of the things that I had been exploring a little bit, which is why I wasn't prepared to ask you to make a motion tonight, is I was trying to think about how we could combine what we've been discussing about a preschool expansion to leverage that 100% reimbursement towards the roof. And basically what I've learned, like I tried to say, well, what if we said we were moving kids from Hinsdale, so we had to do an addition at Pearson to make preschool space at Hinsdale? The state said, no, wherever you're getting that reimbursement has to be where the kids will attend, so that didn't fly. Then I said, well, what if I did the whole first floor of Pearson became the preschool? And then it would make work on that building reimbursable at the full rate. But I suspect, and this is the part I'm still digging into, we have like 4 different roofs. And so if we did an addition, say, on the front of the school and added a series of classrooms, the roof above that would be 100% reimbursable. But there's still like 3/4 of the roof that would only be the 70%. I was trying to figure out how I could combine those and get a free roof out of it, but so far I didn't come up with that answer, but I haven't stopped thinking about it. I'm trying.
We have a detailed specification to send to the selectmen next month, if that is the case.
We have, I just handed to Kurt an executive summary. We
Oh.
have of the state of the roof. We don't have like bid specs that we would put out for the job, but we have a line on a gentleman, Roger, who can come to our January meeting if you like, or maybe more importantly, to go to the Board of Selectmen meeting and sort of take them through where we are and what would come next. So we have the Garland Company who actually makes the product that is used on the roof, and their business model is, we're gonna help you get to that stage and then hope that our product gets used by the roofer. They don't work for us, we don't pay them,
Yeah.
which is amazing, because they've been great. But the fellow Roger is a project manager whom we would start paying if we're proceeding. And even if we're not yet paying him, he was willing to come tonight, I thought it was just premature. And he can come to the Board of Selectmen meeting.
When does who prepares the detailed specifications for the proposed contract? They do, or?
The guy, Roger, that we
That
would
we do.
hire, he's about
Yeah.
roughly $20,000. In a roof project, the project manager is not reimbursable, so that would be an expense to the town. The town does have roughly $50,000 in a line of the budget that was allocated specifically for planning purposes for the roof.
Roof, okay.
So that money actually has been funded and planned. So if we continue forward, we would bring Roger on, and then he stays with us through the whole project. And he does all the communication with the State Department of Education, with the grants, with the reimbursement.
So let's look at this timeline. So you'd present to us next January meeting.
Which is roughly 10 school days from now or something. It's, you know, right when we get back from break.
Right. And then we'd bring it to the Board of Selectmen.
We would want to get on their next meeting agenda and ask them to approve in
And then-
concept and go to referendum.
Once they approve that, then we put it out to bid?
No, then the contract gets put together. He gives them, we give him the order.
Because
to prepare
before
the
we put it to
contract.
referendum, shouldn't we have a number?
I think, so what Chris is suggesting is that we take the number that's in his executive summary, I think it's like 2.8, 2.9. So we actually would have some decisions to make as a town, we'd confer with Paul. The state requires us to have town approval for our portion of the bill. So we could go to referendum for 30%, we could go to referendum for the 800 or 900. They prefer you to go to referendum for the full amount, so that the town is aware of the magnitude, but it's not, I mean, if you find out that you've been approved for this, this is a non-priority project and they run at the first of every month. So as soon as we would send it to the state, but they won't approve it until we've been to referendum. I think you could be going out to bid for contractors and things as early as you want. Roger gets those specs and sends them out. You probably do those things simultaneously.
Okay.
But now we're getting out a little in front of what I've been talking
How
about.
long does the whole process take? Because I know because I kind of do this stuff. And I know when they give a bid, like when you put it out to bid, they say this bid's good for 60 days.
So
So how long is the whole process?
within the world of
Yeah.
school construction, people must have some sense of how the timeline works. But if we were, so our option is, this is really a summer project. This is not something we do while school's in session.
Oh, of course.
It's loud, it's smelly. I keep saying, well, couldn't we do it in the fall? Good that sixth grade teachers are no longer in the room.
But could we get it through that process by the summer?
We are at the edge of possibility to do it this August.
And how long would it take, or they're not even saying?
They could do it like in the month of August,
They could just, it would take a month to do?
yes. Otherwise, we'd be looking at the following summer.
And part of that estimate, that includes all the insulation removal and
Everything, that's
replacement.
soup to nuts,
Good.
everything except for the
Project
cost of
manager,
project manager.
Yeah.
It's like
Project managers
$20,000.
are invaluable.
You sure you don't want project managers?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want me project manager? That would be 20,000 well spent.
Okay.
And I think, you know, part of what you're looking at there is, we have a business department of one.
Mhm.
You know, you have Nancy as the director of finance and operations, and if either one of us were to make this our all-day, everyday project, we wouldn't be doing our own jobs. And it's one thing to, I mean,
You don't
as
have
it is, the
anything
amount
going on
of
for the
town,
next couple of months, right?
the amount of time that goes into
Not
even
much.
just getting this far with it is consuming. Doing the grants and things is not a little project.
You would need Board of Selectmen approval, that's for sure.
Yes.
It's part of their budget too.
So that's roof. I won't say too much tonight about preschool, except to say, I'm continuing to pursue and ask questions. I have, an architect, there's a firm, H2M, I wanna
Yes.
say, that has done some other work in the town, and I just by great fortune know someone who is one of their engineers, and we were chatting, and I said, I desperately need an architect to just, for free, come over to Hinsdale and tell me what this would look like. So they're meeting me there Thursday morning and gonna walk the school with me and ponder the possibilities, because my sense of space and size is not adequate. But they'll walk through with me and see if there are, what it would look like to try and add a few preschool classrooms. Because again, if we were to go after that, it's 100% reimbursable. It would have to go through a referendum, and we would have to be very careful in explaining to taxpayers. There are some non-reimbursable costs, but they really are small. So it would essentially be a free addition. Hand in hand with that, under the leadership section, I'll jump down. They've opened the Early Start grant for this school year. It's good for half of this year and all of next. It's my intention, we're still asking questions and waiting, but the grant has to be in next week, and it's our intention to put in for 16 Early Start seats. And we've sort of done the logistical work so that if we were approved for those, come January, we would make some pop shifts around the building, and use, their funding would pay for the teacher. And so we would open up those seats, offer them first in our community, and then if they don't fill in our community, open them to anyone who wants them. And we would have them for all of next year as well.
The preschool expansion project concept,
Yes,
that would have to start rolling too, wouldn't it?
yes, that has a June 30 deadline.
So conceivably, you're talking about a referendum that would cover the roof plus a referendum that would cover the expansion. Would they need to be two referenda? Because one is 100% reimbursable.
I think, so that's a Paul question, but my sense and my understanding is you could go to one referenda and have two questions.
That's right, yeah.
You could
Okay.
either, I mean, that would be just, that's probably a strategic question. Do you want to have one question that says, should the amount be allocated X, Y, Z to allow the schools to apply for funding for this and this, or you could do them separately.
Okay.
So
Do we have them both ready for one?
for one, 100%. If we're going to
You're gonna
referenda, I
have to
think
do it.
we'd do them both
You
at the
have to
same
do 'em
time.
both.
I wouldn't want to go twice.
No.
So
I only
if
wanna
we,
go
but
once.
if we, so a question for you, so if we do this one class, we get these 16 kids and the state pays for it?
Yep.
Is this a continual payment by the state? So we don't
Yes.
start it and then 5 years from now they go, yeah, we're not paying for it anymore?
No, it's a commitment.
So
Well, that's why I'm asking.
School readiness is a grant that this grant replaced. They've renamed and reconcepted and endowed it. Went on for 30 years or so.
Okay, all right, cool.
The likelihood of it disappearing is slim to none. And if it did, honestly, it's preschool, you could just choose to stop doing it. You know, your community might be disappointed because they've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
What we've been talking about, because we are trying to be good neighbors and not drive any local business out, is rather than trying to make a spot for every 3- and 4-year-old in town, that we would like to see ourselves be in the business of taking all the 4-year-olds. Have enough seats for every 4-year-old, one classroom, because we do need some 3-year-old seats for students with IEPs and their peers. But primarily be in the business of the 4-year-olds and leave the 3-year-olds to other programs in town. Keeps them in business, which keeps slots for infant and toddler, but gives us a whole extra year to work really strategically in getting kids school ready for kindergarten.
Just mention one more thing.
Yes.
In your budget process, you should figure out 2 to 5% for either change orders or delay claims,
10%.
2 to 5.
2 to 5.
I
What?
always do 10.
What?
When I do my stuff, I always do 10%. It's always gonna be 10% more.
Whatever, but some should be there, not to go back to
Understood.
to the budget process again.
I do think my understanding, and we would obviously ask again, is that the roof pricing, he has given us like worst case scenario with all the things. He said, you probably won't spend that much, but I'd rather overshoot it and then have you come up short, has been his mindset. But we would obviously have other hands in it and not just go with one guy's thoughts.
What about other capital projects that might be coming beyond our district? Like, has Gilbert talked about their capital projects yet, for those that are serving on the Gilbert Court? The town,
The only thing they talked about was the bus turnaround.
Yeah, and they're still in the infant stage
Didn't
of
hear
that. Yeah.
and then the town, is there big projects in the town side? Anybody know? Okay.
Well, yes, I mean, the town is doing all kinds of things.
They're, oh, they do roads, but that's something. Okay.
Quick budget process update. We have, as an admin team, been meeting, gathering. We have the, like, salary side of the budget all nailed down, and we've got all of, like, the supply lines and all of those things. We should have a first draft together pretty soon, and then we start trimming. Mike and I are having conversations. I'm trying to sort of catch him up to what it's been like in the past and looking at the Gilbert budget together to start growing his understanding of how it fits inside our budget and how that all works. So those are some of the things that have been happening. As part of the, it's not just Early Start, but all of the state initiatives around early childhood, we will be kicking off on Thursday the community table led by Renee St. Hilaire as our LGP liaison, meaning she pulls together a group from the community. We've got people from the YMCA, from Winston Area Child Care, from AMP, from Youth Services, really sort of like all of the different people who have their hands in making sure we're providing all the best things for kids in Winsted in one place. So that group will meet for the first time on Thursday, and I'll have plenty to share about that at the next meeting, but it's gonna be a powerhouse. It's really cool.
What is it called again? I'm sorry.
It is the community table.
Cool.
And I think at the first meeting, it may be renaming itself, but that's the name the state
Yeah.
offered. And
Great.
we are considered the local governance partner through this grant. Like, we are the ones managing it for the town.
Great.
And it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'll share quickly just because I was really proud of this. There's a group in the state called Partners for Educational Leadership. They run professional learning for teachers and administrators statewide. They probably work out of state as well. And they are highly regarded. They have Richard Lemons at the helm, and he is like the penultimate guy in education in the state. And they just have a bevy of wonderful presenters, and they work in so many of the districts. They were running a student agency workshop that we were gonna send a couple of people to. We were really excited, and they got rescheduled once, and then the second time they were canceling because they lost their space, and we started reaching out and saying, hey, we really wanna do this, don't cancel, we'll get you a space. We were gonna book them down at the college. As a result, they reached out and they said, hey, listen, we know you've been attending our things, and we know of you, and we're interested, and would you be interested in being a pilot site? That thing we were gonna do that you were gonna come to, we'll come do it for you for free, so that we can test it out before we run it anyway, because you've been so engaged. So we were really excited that they wanted to partner with us. We think that's pretty cool recognition. We're excited. And the other thing I wanted to share with you is I kicked off a Superintendent's Advisory Council, had its first meeting last week. There were 4 parents in attendance and 1 more who promises to come the next time. And the parents who were there said they thought they might, have someone else they could bring. And I'm gonna send out the invitation one more time now that we've had a first meeting, and I can say, here's some of what we did, and that might generate more enthusiasm. But it was spectacular to have a room full of people who were really engaged in our district. I got some wonderful feedback about things that they noticed as parents. They were so pleased with the communication from the schools. They said the schools' monthly newsletters and the grade level curriculum newsletters were just such a wonderful piece in their household, where they were feeling great communication. They were aware of and loving the impact of morning meeting. One mom said, every day my child comes home and says, and today in morning meeting, we also got great feedback that the kids are loving the innovation station, which is sort of the reimagining of our library, technology, instruction for the kids. So that was really great. We thought that one of our first projects as an advisory council might be to develop the district's communication plan, since we don't actually have a written plan. And I figured this crew might be the perfect group to work on that with, and then go back and forth with my leadership team and back with them and come away with a plan this spring, so.
How about safety? I know one of the things we talked about a year ago was making sure people feel safe inside the community, inside our schools, and we had SSOs, hired up those to put that in play. Did you address it then, or is that just something for the survey that we'll talk about later?
It did not come up as a topic with the advisory council, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
It was not raised, well, actually, so I'll say the opposite of that came up in the sense that there were some comments about feeling very safe and feeling very loving, for example. No disrespect, I'm gonna say Mikio at Hinsdale, because that's what everyone calls her. Jess Mikio has become just Mikio to everyone, and a really integral part of the school community, but the parents are just so aware, you know, if parents come to pick kids up, she's often the one sort of jogging them down the hall, holding hands, and she's really doing great things there. So I think that has been effective. Sometimes the absence of complaints, I think, can be a good reflection.
Sure.
So I appreciate the question.
Sure.
And I'll call that superintendent's report.
All right, thank you. Okay, on to committee reports. We did not meet last month for
None of
committee.
them.
So, there's nothing to report. All right, on to item E, liaison report, Gilbert School Corp.
Gilbert Corps welcomes several new members, Shane Centrella and Frank Oliveri, and we renewed a membership of Kurt Warner. I again extend sincere gratitude to Renee Waldron and Joanne Golinsky Girardin, if I'm pronouncing correctly, for their service on the court. Furthermore, a slate of 4 previously mentioned policies received approval. The first one, business non-instructional operations regarding gift acceptance, business non-instructional operations concerning unexpected class funds, instruction relating to virtual/online courses, college, university courses, and number 4, community relations, use of building and grounds. And then finally, Gilbert also had its holiday party 2 nights ago, and it was quite enjoyable for me to talk to various alumni and get to meet more people that were and are of the Gilbert community over the years.
Thank you, John. All right, on to item 7, information items.
Okay. You have the enrollment data, very little movement. I have nothing scintillating to say, so I'll just go right by. The attendance reports, similarly, really nothing particularly shocking about what's here. The one thing I'll point out is that November has only 16 school days in it. It is, other than the ones at the end of the year, basically the shortest month of the year. So an increase is to be expected, because if you miss 2 days of school, you are chronically absent in that month. So that's tough. Yeah, I mean, that happens, right? I mean, even the littlest cold can knock you out for 2 days. So those numbers are a little bit elevated, but that is pretty consistent with how they always are. So nothing else really to say there. We continue to work really hard on attendance. I think it's really important. The personnel report, I will point out and tell you with great enthusiasm that we have some amazing new hires. All of the people on the new hire list are already worth their weight in gold. Tim is doing a wonderful job in the hub. GEO, the BCBA, is a life-changing event for our district, and I don't say that facetiously at all. He really is doing just a wonderful job training people up and really taking the time to like slow down and sit next to a child and understand their drivers, so that he can then work with the paras and the teachers who work with a child and help them be really effective in understanding a child's motivations. We say all behavior is communication, and So if we really stop and like read the tea leaves and understand the behavior, then we can do a much better job helping children regulate that behavior. So he's already as phenomenal as we could ever hope. Caitlin has been subbing for us in the kindergarten since day one. Chelsea Schmidt was on a leave, and so we hired Caitlin as a leave replacement. Chelsea ultimately decided not to come back from her extended leave, and we did extra observations to confirm our belief that Caitlin was doing a great job, and we feel poor Caitlin had the longest job interview of her life. She's been on the job from the first day of school until Thanksgiving, but she earned that job and is staying and is doing a great job. And Nick Hall is up at Gilbert. He comes with great experience developing programs and things. He's the special education teacher who's already off and running. And Alex Kamnitzer is an experienced fourth grade teacher joining our team, hit the ground running, phenomenal. So we couldn't be more pleased. And that list of current vacancies, we had someone accept the accounting specialist position today. We made offers to a para today, I believe, one or two of those paras. So we are really closing in on the vacancies as well.
What about the hiring of the SSO? Where are we on that?
We will post that after the holidays.
Okay.
We're reviewing the job description and just making sure that now that we've lived it for 9 months, if we want to make any tweaks before we go forward.
Okay. And Gio is at Hinsdale?
He's across all three buildings.
All three, okay.
We would love to have somebody
Okay.
dedicated at each school.
And
but
Gilbert as well then, okay?
Yep.
Good.
Anywhere where there are students with BCBA needs, that's where we send them.
Okay.
Should I continue on to the budget?
Sure.
Okay, so here's where we are with the money. If everything keeps going exactly as it's going, we are hoping to put $23,000 into the non-lapsing account at the end of the year. We got a long way to go between now and then, but that's where we stand today.
Right.
Obviously, the greater detail of the first line of that report is on the next page. I'll draw your attention just quickly to a couple of things. The lines that are over, like we're spending more than we intended, primarily the professional technical services line. We have one person, speech and language pathologist, who we intended to pay from the wages line. We intended to hire someone. We couldn't find someone. We pay her now then out of that 300 line because she's a consultant, not a direct hire. So the vast majority of that difference is that one hire, and you'll see that our salary line is trending to the good. So the salary line is trending even further to the good because we've had some vacancies that have gone unfilled for periods of time, as well as because some people who left were much higher up the pay scale than some of the people we've hired. Let's see, property services is trending over. That is almost exactly the amount that the equipment and software 700 line is under. Primarily in that line, one of the things I want to draw your attention to is we ultimately ended up leasing Chromebooks instead of purchasing them. We followed the model that Gilbert had been using that they shared with us. We did a 3-year lease. It has a $1 buyout at the end of the lease, so we've got 250 computers. We'll own them for $250 at the end, kind of a no-brainer, and they'll still have several years worth of life left in them. So we'll be carrying that as a property service rather than a purchase. Dollar amount as planned, but just living in a different place.
Will we have to replace any more in this new budget?
No. So my thought was we do this lease, at the end of this lease, it'll be time to do a next one, but it'll be our habit then at that point of having a small annual payment rather, but we won't need to double up and take a second lease or do a second purchase on top of that one. And that should keep us on a cycle of, never being flush with a new device for every kid, but keeping, if every 3 years we bring in a couple hundred devices, we will be cycling them in a really responsible way. The pupil transportation is a combination of, I explained to you guys last time about McKinney-Vento and kids being transported out of district. And that's about all I would say on that page.
Are we anticipating any increases in special ed? Are we okay?
What
Like
do you mean by
unexpected?
So they're unexpected.
Okay.
So we're always anticipating that that could happen.
Nothing
if
on the
somebody could-
horizon, like nothing this week, nothing next week, okay.
No, but Nancy and Kathy are in constant communication, so
Mhm,
Nancy's
okay.
Projected adjustments takes into account things she knows that haven't hit yet.
Okay.
Because we know, like, we have a couple of students for whom we anticipate placements, but they haven't been made yet, things like that, so those are in the calcs.
Okay, great.
Now, if somebody moves in tomorrow,
Well,
who's
then
a
that's different.
$500,000 kid, then
Right.
that's a whole other story, but
Yeah,
the things we can anticipate, we are anticipating.
okay, great.
The grant page, I reviewed it closely with Nancy. There wasn't a whole lot that jumped out at me really, that I feel the need to draw your attention to. I don't know if anything on here raises questions for you, I'd be happy to articulate, but everything's kind of running on plan.
Can we use any of that 660 fund to offset the roof or offset any of that construction capital project?
We can.
Okay,
I mean, that's our safety net.
yep,
So we can always make decisions, you know, one of the thoughts in the back of my head is, you know, if you had a cut, would you use some of that? The problem is that money goes away.
yeah.
Like,
One-
once that's
one and
gone,
done.
there is nothing between us
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
complete and total disaster.
Right.
So I'm reluctant to, like, it's good for a one-time purchase, right? Like, we had talked last year about would we use it like towards safety officers' salaries? Well, that's a bad idea, because you're creating a hole you can't get
Right.
out of.
Fiscal cliff.
But using it, say, for a man trap, or
Mhm,
if we wanted to, you know, if we felt we needed, well, no, we can't pay for the roof, we don't pay for the roof, that's a town expense anyway. But, so yes, my recommendation would be we hold on to it for dear life and also consider it for one-time purchases.
Mhm.
It's probably the only reason that Nancy sleeps at night, is my guess.
We don't want to diminish that.
The town may ask us to.
Right?
Okay.
Okay, monthly budget, so E, update, so on the Board of Ed budget calendar that you all approved at the last meeting, there is just one modest change based on the availability of a room. We've changed it on the calendar invite, but I wanted to be sure to draw your attention to February 3rd, the night that I actually present the budget to you, will be at 6:30 instead of previously, we had said 6. Someone's in the room before us, and I think it's important that all of the budget presentations and meetings are in this room with the TV, so that, you know, with the full transparency in mind. So we're just shifting that to 6:30 so that we can have the
What day
room.
was that?
I'm sorry?
What day?
February 3rd.
February 3rd. And with that, I would also remind everyone that we have a meeting this Thursday at 6:30 in Pearson School, which is sort of workshop style. The meeting is for budget priority establishment, and that's where I will work with all of you to sort of talk about the things that are on the horizon and see what you feel connected to and think is important for us to prioritize when we start. As I said, we're at that stage where we've almost got a first draft together, but it's not a draft we could just bring forward. I mean, it would get giggles, it'll be big. And so before I start slicing and dicing what I'm gonna bring to you, I really wanna understand what your priorities are. So we'll do that Thursday. And then the last thing on here was just to try and confirm the retreat for 124. I think there were a couple people you hadn't heard from.
I think you hadn't heard. I think,
Oh, were those coming to me? So
Yes.
So I think we know Chrissy's not available
Right.
on the 24th, but I think
me.
Shane,
It's on the 24th.
9 to 12 in the morning, and Frank, we hadn't heard
That
from
would
you, I
be
don't
tough.
think.
What date is that?
January
24th.
24th for the board retreat.
It's a Saturday.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Florida.
You can't. In January?
Yeah.
Can
It's
I come?
PGA.
Oh, I am, why don't
PGA
we go
work.
with you?
Yeah.
And we could have the retreat
You could have a
there.
retreat in Florida, by all means, on a golf course, overlooking,
Love that idea for us.
education, it's my education, so.
So no Chrissy.
So we're down
So that's
two.
down 3 people then? Or
We don't
just
know
2?
about Frank. Frank, do you think you would be available?
Yes.
You will be.
Yeah.
All right. So we're down 2.
Sit on it, we can send an email tomorrow, think about it. We probably meet tomorrow, right?
We do.
Perfect. We'll flip a coin,
Okay.
see if we have other ideas. So that's it for information items.
All right, thank you. On to item 8, action items.
You don't wanna look for another day right now while we're all here?
Sure.
Everybody pulls out their
Would a
calendars?
Saturday be the best for most of you?
Yep.
Or a evening?
Maybe like a 5 to 8 on an evening, or a 9 to 12 on a Saturday morning.
I'd prefer 9 to 12 on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
It's just that particular
Yeah.
Saturday.
You need 3 hours, right?
I think so.
Okay.
As long as I give Cher a heads up, well,
We wouldn't want to go sooner than the 24th, because we want to try and get a facilitator, and that's just a couple few weeks away. So either 31st,
Shane, would you be back up by the 31st?
Yeah.
Chrissy,
I can do the 31st.
31st. So Saturday, January 31st?
Let me just check one thing.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good.
Anyone opposed? That should be ample time, right? Oh, hopefully. All right, so let's plug it in for January 31st,
9 to
from
12.
9 to 12,
Location to be determined?
yes, I
to
will
TBD.
figure something out with that. Maybe talk
Hopefully we
through
can
some
get a,
details.
hopefully we can get a facilitator as well.
We can make that our number 1 topic tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. All right, on to item 8, action items. Nominations for and formation of Board of Ed committees. All right, so I sent an email out last week, trying to get an idea of what committees everyone wanted to be a part of. We have 4 standing committees this year: Budget and Finance, which has been the practice of recent that everyone on the board is a part of that. Nora, you do not? Okay, so everyone, but Nora, does anyone else not want to be a part of Budget and Finance? Okay. Does anyone want to chair? I figured I'd chair it since, but does anyone else?
I believe that's in the bylaws.
Okay, for finance, Budget and Finance, okay. So I will chair that committee. Teaching and,
Do you want to do 1 at a time, because you need
Yeah.
to make a motion
okay,
to name the people and the chair. I mean, if you want to get the exact language.
motion to approve everyone and have Kurt be the chair of finance.
You,
The chair of the board shall propose to the board which standing committees shall exist and shall establish the purpose. The chair shall propose the members and appoint a chairperson. And then the board shall approve or disapprove each standing
Each.
committee and appointment thereto by majority vote. So unlike a motion, you would say, I recommend that we have this committee, these are the people who are on it, and so is the chair, and then the board can vote
Okay.
yes or no to that.
I will recommend that we have the Budget and Finance Committee with members being Eleanor Bishop, Shane Centrella, Carol Kiak, myself, Kurt Warner, Joseph Santoro, Christine Rylander, Jonathan Morhart, and Frank Oliveri. I'd like to make a
With Kurt
motion
as the
with,
chair.
with myself, Kurt, as the chair of the committee, make a motion to approve this committee.
I'll second that.
You'd make the motion?
Oh, I'll make the motion, okay, yeah.
I'll second.
All right, Joseph makes a motion. Jonathan seconds. All in favor? Opposed? No one. All right, unanimous. All right. Next committee is teaching and learning. This was previously curriculum. I have Eleanor Bishop, Joseph Santoro, Chrissy Rylander,
Christine Rylander.
Shane Centrella, and Jonathan Morhart. And I would like to recommend Jonathan Morhart as the chair of this committee.
I'll motion that as well.
I make a motion that Ellie Bishop chair that committee.
Okay, so we have a motion for Jonathan as chair, and actually, did you want to be chair? I think Christine actually.
I said chair, I had two others.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I would.
You would? Okay. So, before we,
So why don't you vote the membership?
okay. So we're gonna vote, for the membership of the Teaching and Learning Committee with members Eleanor Bishop, Joseph Santoro, Christine Rylander, Shane Centrella, and Jonathan Morhart. Can I make a
Motion.
Christine will make a motion.
Second.
Okay, all approve? All right, now I would like to make a motion to vote for chair of the committee between, or should I just do it one at a time?
You could make a motion and it will pass or fail, and then make another motion that will pass or fail, I guess. Or we could do it as a vote, like the way you do for board chair, like everybody just, I could give a piece of paper that write down the person, which I think both could be legal, whichever you prefer.
Let's do by paper.
Okay. Give me 30 seconds. How about why don't you share the list of who you've got for policy while I just
Sure.
tee that up
Moving on to policy and bylaws.
first?
We have Jonathan Morhart. We have Christine Rylander. We have Frank Oliveri. As far as, actually, I'm sorry, Jonathan, you wanted to be which one did you want to be chair of?
Policy.
Policy and bylaws, all right. So,
Oh,
we might have
So we're
just
good.
saved ourselves some time here. So
Stop
Jonathan would like to
ripping
be chair of policy and bylaws, but also Christine also wanted to be chair of policy and bylaws, so keep that piece
yeah.
of paper.
So go back to the other one. and
All right,
see
so
if
we're gonna
other
go
than
back to
Eleanor.
teaching and learning. And Eleanor will be chair of that committee. All in favor? Okay, unanimous.
Okay, yes, yep.
Okay, so why don't you vote your membership of the policy group?
All right, so I'd like to vote, make a motion for Policy and Bylaws Committee with the chair, with members being Jonathan Morhart, Chrissy Rylander, and Frank Oliveri. All in favor? Unanimous? And we will,
So nominations for chair of this committee are,
so nominations for chair of this committee are Christine Rylander and Jonathan Morhart.
okay, so you're writing down either Christine or Jonathan?
Take one and pass the rest.
Are we
Okay.
putting our names on this or signing them, just so we don't have an issue?
I think that's probably pretty
Yes, we
wise.
should probably sign.
Like we write the person and then we do our signature.
Yes.
You need a pen?
First and print.
You don't believe in pens? Do you believe they exist?
Of course I do.
Oh, okay.
Just the use of it.
Make sure it's clear which is the vote and who voted.
Right.
Sign your name. You print it. Sure. Okay. All right. Yep. All right. That's the stragglers then. Okay. So we have one vote for Jonathan. 2 votes for Jonathan. 1 vote for Christine. 2 votes for Christine. 3 votes for Jonathan. 4 votes for Jonathan. 3 votes for Christine. 3 votes for Christine.
That's
That's 4 votes.
4 votes for Christine, so we are tied, and the 5th is for Jonathan. So, I'd like to vote for, well, we did vote, make a motion to,
Yeah, so why don't you just make a motion to approve?
make a
Jonathan?
motion to approve Jonathan as chair of Policy and Bylaws.
I'll make a
Second.
motion. I'll make a motion to approve Jonathan Morhart as the chair of the Policy and Bylaws Committee.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? So approved. All right,
It's
and
unanimous.
unanimous, yeah.
That's right.
And the final committee is a new committee. It will be a standing committee. It's the Gilbert School Committee. I have Jonathan Morhart.
What's its charge?
It was in the email. It's gonna be a standing committee that we're gonna, the negotiating committee will be under that, which is already formed. But it's also we're gonna look at data of Gilbert, where there may be times that we might, have head of school, Susie, come down and tell us a little bit, kind of dig into the data as well. So it's just kind of being more informed about what's going, beyond what we do as regular Gilbert Corp members, but having more understanding of what's going on with Gilbert and more communication with Gilbert, so.
I think you talked about for increased collaboration, also for seeking efficiencies.
Yeah.
So persons that serve on the Gilbert School Corp do not necessarily have to serve on
Nope.
this?
Not at all.
It's not a requirement?
It is not.
And you're saying the negotiation committee would serve under it?
Yes.
Does that mean the ad hoc negotiation committee has to dissolve? And this board has to authorize that? Otherwise, you're forming a committee within a committee.
Well, ad hocs dissolve if they stop meeting, just,
But they have to
automatically-
report on their final business to the full board before they dissolve. this full board has to dissolve that ad hoc committee. So to formulate and say that the negotiation committee falls under this new committee is awkward.
Okay, well, we can keep the negotiating committee outside of it then.
But isn't it a new board and we're making new committees?
So you can discharge a special committee by 2/3 vote of the entire board at any time.
That's right.
Special committees are established, the chair shall propose the members, the board shall approve when the business of the special committee has been completed, you make a final report, or at a meeting, and the special committee shall then automatically cease to exist, so.
It can't be discharged unless this board, even though there's new board members, by rights, it has the right to exist. Whether there's new members on this board or not.
It says, and ad hoc committees are generally required to dissolve once their specific limited task
Correct.
is completed or after a set time.
Correct.
Well, I don't think it needs to dissolve yet, so.
Well, no, but you're replacing it with this other committee and charging it to
Right.
continue the efforts. What I would
Okay.
say is if you wanted to
That's
put
fine.
to a 2/3 vote that we dissolve that special committee or that ad hoc committee because it will now essentially
Fall under
exist
that.
as a standing committee, which then makes them regular meetings that don't have to be
Right. Doubly
add-ons.
posted.
Okay.
Right, doubly posted. Essentially, it's taking what we had and now moving it into a broader
Mm.
series of work and a more standing
Mhm.
approach.
So I will make a motion to dissolve the ad hoc negotiating committee.
You're making a motion or you want somebody else to make it?
You
I'll
can
make
make-
a,
yeah.
okay. I make a motion to dissolve the negotiating committee ad hoc committee.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Fine, okay.
Okay, unanimous. All right, so under the new committee, the Gilbert School Committee, we have members Jonathan Morhart, Carol Keachip,
Yeah.
Kiak, aye.
You'll get it eventually.
Christine Rylander, and Shane Centrella. Kurt Warner.
Does everyone know these committees all meet on the same evening, right in a row? I just want to make sure you know, like, if you
What do
sign
you
up for
mean
more
right
than
in a
one,
row?
you're there anyway.
What do you, what?
Like, we
So
scheduled
they're
them
back
for
to
like
back.
6, 6:30, 7, and 7:30.
They're all the same
The
night.
committees.
Yes.
Right,
Okay.
so if you're on more than one, no harm, no foul, you're
Oh.
already there.
Right.
But your evening just got longer.
Yeah.
Well, just so you know that you're not committing to coming out like 4 extra nights a month,
Oh.
it is one night of committee meetings.
And for chair, I was gonna be chair, but does anyone else would like,
I would nominate Christine Ryler for chair.
okay,
Like nominate
Anyone
Kurt
else?
Warner for chair?
Yes.
okay? Anyone else? All right.
Very good, yeah. Usually I have a bag full of things, like sticky notes, but.
Don't forget to sign.
Thing that I always like to use.
So you're voting between Kurt and Chrissy
Christine, yeah.
for
Chair
chair
of the
of
Gilbert.
the Gilbert Subcommittee of Coach.
School
You won't get in trouble for this.
You sure?
Fine. Is that all? All right, so we have 1 vote for Christine. 2 votes for Christine. 1 vote for Kurt. 2 votes for Kurt. 3 votes for Kurt. 3 votes for Christine. 4 votes for Kurt. 4 votes for Christine. 5 votes for Kurt. So, make a motion for Kurt Werner to be chair of the Gilbert School Committee. Jonathan?
Second.
Shane? All in favor? Unanimous. Okay. All right, on to item B, policies for approval. Item 1, board budget procedures.
These are the same policies that were on for first read last month, and only the 3 that the board approved to put forward for a second read.
Should we,
So now you would be making a motion to approve them.
okay,
There was one that we pulled and it's not back on tonight.
it's not back, okay, gotcha.
It'll come back next month.
All right, so I'd make a motion for the board budget procedure.
I make a motion to implement board budget procedures.
Okay, Nora? Second. Jonathan? Okay, all in favor? Unanimous. All right, item 2, IDEA, fiscal compliance.
I make a motion to implement IDEA fiscal compliance.
Second.
Nora first. Christine second. All in favor? Unanimous? All right, item 3, make a motion to approve school activity funds. Would anyone like to make a motion
Just
to
have a
approve?
question regarding the policy of tracking procedure. Is this the one where you talked about themed items walking out the door?
No.
That was withdrawn?
That was withdrawn.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I make a motion to implement administrative regulations concerning individuals with disabilities that were compliant? No, school
No.
activity
No.
funds.
Do we have a second?
Second that.
All in favor?
Was it Joe's second that you recommended?
Yes, Joe's second. Okay. On to item C, approval to establish new bank accounts at Northwest Community Bank.
I'll try and do this justice quickly for you. As I'm pretty sure I've shared at some point in the past, we previously had all of our banking locked in with the town. We didn't have our own tax ID number. We were just living inside of the town's finances. The town has requested that we get out. We joke and say we are getting divorced. They asked us, please get your own tax ID. They want to move on to a payroll system. They can't do that with us in tow. So this was at the town's request. We are cooperating. It probably makes a little more work for us, but it's fine. If you were to poll the districts in the state of Connecticut, probably half are inside the town and half are their own separate bank accounts. This motion tonight is that because we are doing that, we need to have bank accounts that are associated with our tax ID number. So we already have 3 accounts, one for student activities at Hinsdale, one for student activities at Pearson, and what's the third one? And the lunch account. So in order to open those accounts, Northwest is requiring us to have a motion from the board saying that we have the board's permission to open those accounts, which makes sense. You know, a bank doesn't want to be responsible for somebody walking in and being like, hey, they told me to open an account. So this is a motion from the board that Nancy will take the minutes to the bank and they will close the one set of accounts, open the new set of accounts, and so the money's not coming out or anything, it's moving from one Northwest account to another. Do you have any questions? Well, so if you want to make a motion, then if you have any questions.
Okay, I move that the Town of Winchester Board of Education bank accounts at Northwest Community Bank, specifically the Town of Winchester lunch account ending in 3987, the Hinsdale School account, student activity account ending in 7476, and the Pearson School student activity account ending in 7484 be closed, and that the balances in those accounts be transferred specifically to new Northwest Community Bank accounts titled the Winchester, Connecticut Public Schools Food Service, Hinsdale School Student Activity, and Pearson School Student Activity. I move that the authorized signers on these new accounts be Julie Luby and Nancy O'Day Wyrick. Do I have a second?
A second. You have to say it too. I'm kidding. Sorry. Gets to be this time of night, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Do we have any discussion or
I
questions?
actually do, is it a single signature or a double signature required?
Nancy, single or double signature required?
I'm sorry.
Single or double signature
Do you need
required?
one signature or two signatures on a check?
Typically, we have always done double signatures.
Yeah, that's what, so that should be,
So it would
that
be
should be the
Julie and
resolution.
myself, yes.
Sorry.
So it says I move that the authorized signers be Julie Luby
No,
and
but they have to
Nancy
be,
O'Day
they have to be,
as co-signers.
well,
as-
they have to, it has to be a dual signature.
As dual signatures. Nora, would you like to?
Do we want to
I
read
make an
that?
amend to the motion.
To add the words.
It's a friendly amendment to add as dual signatures. I move that the authorized signers on these new accounts be Julie Luby and Nancy O'Day Wyrick as dual signatures.
Dual signatures required.
As dual signatured as
As
required.
dual
No,
required.
dual signatures required.
Dual
Something
signatures
required, always has to
required.
be two signatures,
Required.
sorry.
Why haven't we done this before? And what was the initiative to create two separate tax IDs? I know you just mentioned it.
It was a request from the town. It initiated at least because they wanted to go onto a payroll service, and they can't do that with us in tow.
I see.
Because we have separate payroll, and
Okay.
so they needed us to not be
Is there
part of them.
a drawback to doing this for us?
Just more like tax filings fall to us where
Do you
before
want it
we were
read?
part of the town.
Do you have it, or do you want it read one more time?
Just kidding.
You have it?
We have it here, I'm gonna give it to Tiffany, don't worry.
All right.
So you don't see any repercussions for us that are painful and other than?
I'm sorry, I can't, I'm having trouble
Is there any drawbacks to the Winchester Board of Ed by doing this?
I'm gonna come a little closer.
Okay,
This is bad, I'm
Um,
sorry.
moving ahead with our own tax ID,
Yes.
moving ahead with moving our monies over to Northwest Community as separate accounts, is there any drawbacks to the Winchester Public Schools? Because we haven't done this in my tenure here, so I just want to ask that question. Are there any drawbacks for us?
I'm not hearing the whole end of the question.
Are there any concerns for us, additional costs that might be on us because we're moving into
Well,
a separate tax ID? And you might want to hit the green, hit the.
Hit the red.
Yeah,
Here we go. We have the tax ID already,
okay,
and we already have the account set up with Bank of America, that the town was helpful in getting that done. Because it's a local community bank, they were looking for a little more belt and suspenders coming from the board. As far as additional costs, we have everything covered. The big thing with the town was we would do the work, and then it would be folded in with the town. And then the big thing was the tax reporting. We would do the W-2s ourselves, we would do the 1099s ourselves to our contractors. So it's not really a whole lot of extra work. I mean, it's not like we have to add another staff person for it.
okay.
And so Julie and I have had lots of conversations about that, so I don't see that as an issue.
Okay, thank you.
So do we have to change it to the Bank of America then?
I'm
Rather
sorry,
than
Frank.
Northwest Community Bank?
No, this
I
one
can answer
just
that
for
one.
Northwestern.
Bank of America allowed us to set up our own accounts. We had already shared and discussed this previously, that it was happening. They're throwing us out. We're
Oh, they're
getting
throwing us
divorced
out.
whether we
Okay.
like it or not.
Okay, all right.
It's amicable though.
Yes, it's
Amicable
amicable.
divorce.
We've worked out the custody, we've worked out the alimony schedule.
It's not any more work than what we're already doing.
But Bank of America allowed us to just make those changes
Yeah.
unilaterally,
Yeah.
where the local bank wanted the assurances from a
Yeah.
board motion.
Yeah.
And we have worked
Which is
with the town manager to talk about, for example, like the allocation, when we have our appropriated budget, we've worked out, they're not going to give us the full appropriated budget on July 1st, they don't have it. But they'll be, giving us an allowance, so to speak, and we've talked about front-loading that allowance enough that we're never like slow pay on our bills. So we think it'll be fine.
Okay, I believe we have a first and a second
Thank you.
already.
Who was the first and second, Tiffany?
Nora was the first, Christine was the second.
Thank you.
Okay. All approved?
Has to be, yeah.
All right.
9-0.
Perfect. All right, moving on to item 9, public comment. The Winchester Board of Education welcomes you to its business meeting. There are 2 opportunities set aside to hear comments from the public. We welcome and encourage public participation as a valued part of communicating input with the Winchester Board of Education. We appreciate your adherence to the following. Complete the requested information on the sign-in sheet if you wish to speak. Your name, address, and email. State your name and address when called upon to speak. You will be allotted 3 minutes to share your comments. Please be advised that it is not the practice of the Board of Education to engage in dialogue regarding commentary. The superintendent of schools will be directed by the chairperson to prepare an appropriate response in a timely manner. We appreciate your time and thoughtful commentary. Is there anyone wishing to speak? Anyone wishing to speak? Anyone wishing to speak? Okay, seeing no one, we will move on to item 10, future agenda items and board member comments. Anyone?
I've got a comment.
Yes.
We were given a tour of the Pearson School by the maintenance director, Dave Crudden, the one and only. I just wanted to say that what a knowledgeable person he is, what a great asset he is to our school system. He seems to know everything. I just wanted to acknowledge him and just say thank you for everything that he does for us.
Great.
I'm gonna make sure he plays back
There you
this
go.
part of the meeting, so that will make him
Please
stay.
do.
He
Yeah.
was really proud to do it. He really enjoyed the opportunity.
It was very eye-opening too. wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Anyone else? All right, on to item 11, make a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Jonathan, second. All in favor? Great. Thank you, everyone.
What time is the meeting?
6:30.
Here.
No.
No.
Pearson
Pearson.
Library.
Oh, good question.
Second
Upstairs.
Remember, I went
Second
three
floor.
different doors.
Same
It's
place
where the
you
board
did the
member training
orientation.
was.
Okay, so we go right into the lobby and up.
6:30 Thursday?
Yeah.
Got it.
Thursday or?
Thursday, this Thursday.